Hello YouTube, it is I, Banded Wendy. How are you? It is 12/22/15 and this is day 6 of my 12 Days of Christmas series. And oh gosh, it gets hard to make these videos and come up with topics that mean something to me and maybe will mean something to you. A couple people that I consider close to me shared the idea of me talking about maintenance and this concept of living in the gray, right? So I thought I would talk about my shade of gray. And I have some notes because I have a pen. I started writing and then I broke away from the notes. So we'll see where this goes, right? So March 23rd, 2009, I had weight loss surgery. I have a lap band, and everything that I've ever imagined, didn't imagine, wished for, hoped for, couldn't even begin to hope or wish for, has truly came to be my reality. So I feel really fortunate, and I know that I've earned this space that I'm in, right? This life, this body, this mind. And I had a retreat earlier this year, back in October. And I had a couple people I was chatting, and we were talking about this, black or white. They're really, really on or they're really, really off. And I was like, well, it's gray. Like, what about someplace in between, right? And I truly believe that everybody's view or shade of gray is probably going to be different. And that's okay, right? We all have individual goals. We have individual desired outcomes. We have individual life circumstances, environments, the way we process and deal with life's emotions and stressors, they're all different, right? None of us have the same thumbprint. But I can talk about me. So my shade of gray. When I decided to have surgery back in March 23rd of 2009, I was just not happy with me. And having lost the same 100 pounds 3 times and regained it back, I was at rock bottom of the barrel, right? And I feel like I have now crawling up through the barrel, jumped out, and I jump across those barrels now for fun, right? So what got me there? Like, getting into the bottom of the barrel, I got myself there. So I knew that to get out and be able to be where I am today, jumping over them for fun, I was going to have to make some changes. So I look at the first 2.5 years of my journey as one shade of gray. And then I look at the last 4.5 years of my journey as a different shade of gray. The first, so they're the same, yet they're different. The first 2.5 years, I took 68 weeks. We can call it a 1.5 years if we want to, right? So the first chunk of that first 2.5 years, a 1.5 years, was figuring it out, right? The rules, the weight loss surgery rules that my surgeon gave me, the ones that we all shared here on YouTube. Figuring out how to live those rules, what some now call the success habits, and creating non-negotiables in my life. There was going to be, come hell or high water, I was going to do X, Y, Z, and sitting in that, right? My greatest struggles came from doing that because I was literally transforming my life, right? A lot of great struggles in there. The greatest thrills. I mean, hallelujah. When that scale goes down the way you want it to go down, or it just goes down at all, and it does it consistently, and you are making the effort and spending the time and following the rules, and making those non-negotiables, learning, processing, and practicing, right? That was the first 2.5 years. And I dabble in the land of making a lot of progress, the best progress I can, and believing that the progress I make is pretty darn fantastic, whether it is or not. Inside my head, that's what I'm thinking about it. Because the other game of Negative Nancy, I don't have time for that, right? So really being authentic and honest and genuine and a hard charger. As to a lot of it was black or white. These are the rules. You're going to follow them. You're going to learn, process, and practice. And in practice, there's going to be gray, right? But always steering towards the black or the white, whatever color you want to call it. But I'm going to say doing it, right? Woo! Being on it. That was me. Trying my hardest. Never give up, never give in, right? And in 68 weeks, so the first year and a half of that, 2.5 years, I lost 99 pounds. Some people lose 200 pounds in that amount of time. I'm not them, right? For me to lose 99 pounds in 68 weeks, it required me to hang over in that black area and not very often go into a gray. But because it was thrilling and it was challenging and it was different, and I felt like it was the cement, the foundation for the future, and all this positivity was coming from it. And I was crawling out of that barrel. The energy and the reward, the payoff was grandiose. Loved it. In that 68 weeks, I stayed the same weight or gained 11 times, right? I've said that in videos before. So in my opinion, take a year and a half, that's 12 plus 6, 18 months, minus 3 months, 16 months. I had consistent weight loss for 16 months. Week after week after week, except for 11 weeks in that year and a half time frame. So it was pretty one-sided, not a lot of gray. And when there was gray, I realized I was making true change. I was paying attention to what I ate. I was paying attention to when I ate. I was paying attention to who I ate with. I changed my social circle. I changed what I considered entertainment, what I did for fun, how I lived my free time. I used my time differently in life because in my world, you only got 24 hours. And being able to follow those rules required a lot of effort and change. And I needed that time and space to do that, right? So I made that possible for myself. And then the next year plus a little bit of time, I weighed the same weight just about every week. It's documented here on YouTube. I maintained like a bandit. And it got to the point where my husband was a little annoyed by it. Because come Monday, there was no Sunday fun day. There was no let's eat chips and dip, kind of thing and drink beer for the football game. It was, I got a goal to keep. I'm maintaining my weight loss. I had never maintained weight loss before. And that was what I was looking for as a weight loss surgery patient, was that power. So I took it pretty seriously. And I lived away from the gray. I really did. If I went to an event or a party or a weekend trip, booze and, bring in booze, alcohol, sugar, scale is going to go up. And I knew what to do, automatic switch to change it when I got back from that. But almost every Monday it was the same weight. And I even got to the point where I got down to 138 because I wanted to create a larger lifetime maintenance range. And in order to create a lifetime maintenance range, you got to reach the weight. So I got down to 138 in 2012, I think it was. Yeah, August 2012. So then comes the second tier, second shade of my gray. And that's been the last 4.5 years, 2012 till now. right? And that is a whole different place. That is, I got this. I have, a strong belief and confidence in the fact that I'm never going to be that fat Wendy again. Never going to be that girl wishing she was somebody else. And what I do is that I live real close to the black still. I still track my nutrition 90% of the time. I still make videos to be accountable. I still share my food log, photo log of food daily for accountability. I still take my Side Body Shot Wednesday photos for accountability. I've always said, you start seeing just headshots of me, call me out. Because that's not what I signed up for. No, not me. I know that the next decision can be better. So, I can be having a great day. I can be on track, if you will, doing the things I need to do, the food, the water, the fitness, the portions, the protein, the vitamins, the supplements, and go to the gourmet chocolate shop and eat 4 pieces of chocolate. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to get fat overnight from eating 4 pieces of chocolate. I got that now. That's gray. The next meal, I go back to protein and produce. So I've had some really significant behavior modifications that allow me to dip over into the gray, right? I was in a mountain town last week. My husband said, let's go to the mountains. There's snow and lights there. We went. My mom used to make sugar cookies, Got a dead mom, got no sugar cookies. And we went to a store that was making fresh cookies. I got a huge heart-shaped sugar cookie. I ate the whole thing. Gray area. The next meal was protein and produce. I came home after a 4-hour drive and did my fitness as planned. So because I spent that first 2.5 years living in the black, I now can dabble in the gray. But I still, I was so tired of that old way of living that was always too far in the gray, almost over to the white. And the black seemed like, oh, I'll do that January 2nd. I'll do that next month, next year, next week. The gray for me is the next choice. And it's about being aware, accountable. I still stand on the scale every week. It's like still write it in my notebook. It's week 352 post-op. Trusty notebook right here. I still write down my weight every week. I still weigh in. My clothes still fit. The thrills and the motivation are different. I've chased fitness goals instead. And now it's just about being healthy and continuing the momentum. And that's about having support and surrounding myself with that circle of influence, my friends who are doing the same thing, staying connected within the YouTube or weight loss surgery community. That's my YouTube, is my weight loss surgery community. And so I'm not like for me, a gray area is like, ooh, you're at the top end of your lifetime maintenance range. Time to pull that back a little bit and regroup. I'm not a 30, 40 pound regainer in the gray. Doesn't work for me. Unacceptable. So if I get up to that 148, ding, 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 something's got to change. Too much of gray, right? Not going to be me. Not who I am. Not going to allow it to happen. So I have a little bit of gray. It's probably a very dark shade of gray because it's closer to black. So anyway, caution. It's hard work. You got to re-energize yourself every day. Find new things that inspire you. That circle of influence. Do different things. I couldn't do the same things I was doing 7 years ago at Christmas, this year at Christmas, and feel good about myself. Because I didn't feel good 7 years ago doing what I was doing. Going up and eating the whole buffet at the Chinese place, not having any exercise in my life, clothes not fitting at all, didn't like myself in pictures. That was way over, like beyond great, to the white living, and I've just transferred everything. So, I don't know, it's a very long video. Hopefully I've answered some questions that were brought up to me. Living in the gray, you're going to have to decide. For me, I like to stay in the black and a very heavy dark shaded gray. That works for me. If you get too far over here, it might be too hard to get back. Think about that. All right. Bye. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.